Chanel is in for Savannah once again, who remains with her family in Arizona.
Good morning, and that is where we begin this morning. The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's mother, and a beloved part of our Today family. Authorities in Arizona now saying the 84-year-old appears to be the victim of an abduction.
Overnight, Savannah posting this image on Instagram. Please pray. She went on to write, "We believe in prayer. We believe in voices raised in unison, in love, in hope. We believe in goodness. We believe in humanity. Above all, we believe in Him."
She added, "Thank you for lifting your prayers with ours for our beloved mom, our dearest Nancy, a woman of deep conviction, a good and faithful servant. Raise your prayers with us and believe with us that she will be lifted by them in this very moment." She goes on to say, "We need you. Bring her home."
We have several reports this morning. We'll start with NBC's Liz Kreutz. She has made her way to Tucson. She is following the investigation for us. Liz, good morning to you.
Hi, Craig. Hi, Chanel. Good morning to both of you. Our hearts are with Savannah and her family right now, and there are still so many more questions than answers as the search for Nancy Guthrie goes on nearly 48 hours now. While the sheriff tells us they have received many tips from the public and community, he says they still don't have a solid lead.
This morning, authorities are urgently asking the public for help with any tips related to the disappearance of Savannah's mother, Nancy Guthrie. As the massive search continues for the 84-year-old,
I think she was abducted.
The Pima County Sheriff saying yesterday that Guthrie was taken from her home.
When you're taken from your bed and you don't want to go somewhere, that's an abduction.
The Sheriff's Department now saying he meant that figuratively and did not mean that she was literally taken from her bed. But according to the office, investigators do believe Guthrie was, quote, taken from the home against her will, which could include, quote, possible kidnapping or abduction. Overnight, the sheriff also reporting possible DNA evidence found at the crime scene.
We took some samples that we hope will have enough profile of a DNA profile that gives us some identification as to what we're looking at.
Police say Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night when family members dropped her off at home where she lives alone around 9:45 p.m. The next morning, a church friend called family concerned she didn't attend Sunday service. After spending nearly an hour searching the home and property, her children called 911 around noon on Sunday. Police say Nancy Guthrie's cell phone and car were left behind, adding that she has limited mobility and needs to take medication daily or it could be fatal.
Oh, that's so cute.
Over the years, Savannah's mother has been a frequent guest on the Today Show, the two often sharing cherished memories and opening up about their special bond.
My mom and I feel like we really click as friends, too. It's just amazing what she's brought to my life.
Savannah posting overnight asking for prayers. Authorities not speculating on potential motives, saying their focus is on trying to track down the beloved mother and grandmother before it's too late.
It is a race against time, and that I hope that window hasn't closed.
And the sheriff indicated that it could be several more days until they're able to get any kind of conclusive information from those DNA samples taken from the crime scene. We also asked the sheriff about the potential possibility that Nancy Guthrie could have been targeted because of her connection to Savannah. He said that while they're not ruling anything out, that is not a main focus of their investigation. Craig.
Liz Kreutz starting us off there in Tucson. Liz, thank you. NBC's Tom Winter covers crime and security, joins us now here in the studio. So, Tom, I mean, it's alarming that she was taken against her will from her home. Where do investigators start with something like that?
You know, certainly the fact that we now have what they've called an abduction is obviously very concerning to them. There is a process to doing this. There's a methodology to doing this. The FBI is now involved. I know we'll talk about that. They are getting some evidence, but they are pleading for the public's help. Somebody knows something about this. Somebody knows, saw something, had maybe heard something. Obviously, the person or persons that did this know about it. And so I think today there's two things. There's the investigation, but there's also the Nancy Guthrie, the humanity side of this. And if it were my family, and I'm sure the Guthries feel the same way, they say, you know what? Focus on, and I would say focus on Nancy. Get her to the hospital, get her to a fire station, get her somewhere where she can get some help because she may not have the time that investigators do or whoever did this has.
You know, we've been talking about the fact that there were items like, you know, her cell phone, car, left behind. What does that tell us? And also the terrain of the neighborhood. How does that impact this?
Yeah, so clearly this wasn't a robbery. And this was somebody who they tried to abduct this person. They get them out of the house in the middle of the night, it appears. And so because of the neighborhood, it's not tightly packed. It's within Tucson, but we're not talking about house next to house next to house. So because of the vegetation, because of the terrain, because of the way of the layout of the neighborhood, according to the sheriff's office, so far they have not had a lot of luck in getting video. We were talking about yesterday morning, hopefully a neighbor would have a video of a car leaving or somebody in the area. That hasn't been too fruitful so far. So that's proving to be a real challenge.
You mentioned the FBI a few moments ago, Tom. What kind of expertise can the FBI bring to a case like this, and other agencies as well?
Yeah, sure. And it's not just the FBI, but the FBI does have a lot of experience on these types of kidnapping investigations. They bring some technological resources that can be very helpful in terms of finding the person. So as far as cell phone location technology, the work they can do with that is incredible. We've seen that be used just in the last several months in a number of high-profile cases. They have the ability to analyze images. They can review purchases. They can try to find out if anybody bought anything that they think that somebody might have been used in this crime. So they have some unique resources. They're also a national and international organization, so they have that reach as well.
Particularly for people in this area, in her area, how much can the public help at this time?
I think it's very clear from the sheriff's office that they need the public's help, and I think they're going to be critical. Somebody somewhere saw something. Somebody's heard about something. And you know what? It's not just people in Tucson. You could be in New York, North Dakota, California. Maybe you're on Reddit. I mean, we saw in the Brown University case, somebody posted incredible details about what they saw at Brown University, and it was posted on Reddit. So if you see something, make that phone call to police, because they're really hoping for that clue or that thing that they can't find. They don't have infinite resources and infinite manpower, so they're asking for the public's help that way.
That's a good point. I didn't think of the digital aspect of it.
The digital aspect of that is huge. They're not the only police department in the country that's paying attention to that, and that's another example of where the FBI can help. But hopefully they'll be able to clue in on Savannah's mom's home and try to figure out if anybody has been there from a cell phone location standpoint, those type of digital details that they could get as well.
All right.
That's good.
Tom, thank you. Of course, we'll be checking in with you throughout the morning. Again, if you're watching or if you're listening and you have any information about this case, we urge you to call the Pima County Sheriff's Office, the phone number right there on your screen. You can also go to 88crime.org. And, of course, we'll have updates throughout the morning.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.